the problem.
I'm just wondering whether there'll be a little gap in our conversation.
I'm so pleased with, just enjoying this, that even if there are technical difficulties of understanding,
it
has a
matter.
basic feel.
Yeah.
Now 6 is cosmic rhythm. Motivation to be higher removed, plus stop feeling inferior. Motivation to be higher removed, plus stop feeling inferior. Okay.
Okay. So you don't need to feel higher than others. And usually when people do, that's because they feel inferior in some other way. So the idea is that we are working towards very, very difficult. I mean, this is all very difficult. I mean, people talk endlessly about equality, but it's really, really hard. I mean, to actually, because I think I used to feel, because I felt so inferior, I felt I had to sort of prove that I was superior by, I don't know, writing books, for example, but it came from a feeling of greater inferiority. I mean, one of my inferiorities as a child growing up was that I was short. Might sound ridiculous, but I had a younger sister who very early on got taller and taller than me. So I had that inferiority of just being short, And so I was the clever one, so I would be superior as the clever one to make up for the ways in which she was sort of stronger than me and bigger than me. And, so that sort of process is very familiar to me, but it's one I'm kind of, working on, because the ideal, of course, is to see everyone as equal and not need to be up there, not need to be perfect, for example. I mean, a lot of spiritual traditions talk about becoming perfect, and that's already trying to get up, or go to a higher dimension, or instead of that, what I'm interested in is balancing and equalizing, so that, when we are really, I never use the word enlightened, but when we are developed spiritually, and you could say even developed implies a kind of a path, which it does, you are no longer needing to feel superior to anybody else, but also you don't need to feel inferior. And a lot of people
to
find
join
that
in
very
with
hard.
someone else's feeling is, is surrendering immediately and not letting, anything else intervene.
Yes.
But in terms of activities, then, something's got to be done, and you don't do it together. You each do your own thing and then come back together, sort of thing. If you are some sort of one entity at that time, then all that is simple. But now, where are we getting to, so that we need to address one another instead of just getting on with being together, right? Is that shared spirituality?
I think I know
based
what
on
you mean.
similarities?
Well, based on what we have in common, not because the word equal is very different from the word the same. It doesn't mean that we're the same, we're very, very different. We're all different, but obviously some groups are more different than other groups, in the sense that every individual is different, but also you've got groups that are different, and as long as there's a hierarchy, then there's a problem. But as soon as you're able to see this group or this individual is just different, but that doesn't mean that in certain areas that they don't have gifts or skills. I mean, like Mother Mira, I mean, some people definitely have. Some people play the piano better than other people. It's not that there isn't a degree of discernment about difference, that there are different abilities in people. But you can meet someone who's maybe a brilliant piano player, but you meet them as a human being, and there you are, they are equal to you essentially. And when you're with someone in the way you were talking about, you're empathizing with them. And if you're trying to be superior to them, in other words, compete with them and be better than them, you're not really empathizing, you're not really on a level with them. And if you feel really inferior and you're sitting at their feet, you're not really equalizing either. You're just sort of looking up. You're not actually even then seeing them as an equal human being. And I'm sure we both know how uncomfortable that can feel when you're in that position. I mean, I used to think, oh, how nice it would be, all these lectures I give and, people sort of hanging on my every word. But actually, if you want to be equal with people, it can be quite uncomfortable if people are putting you on too high a pedestal.
Yeah.
We're supposed to
Angle
like
of gaze. Angle of gaze
Yes.
in that case.
Yes.
But in the old days, you knew how when people had cats, you see,
Yes.
you could doff your,
Yes.
showing your reverence,
Yes.
you see, for
Yes.
someone. But
Yes.
now we've lost all that.
But thank goodness, because I think that equalia and all this equalising is happening. And it's been happening, well, it's been happening for hundreds and hundreds of years, in spite of the hierarchy and the patriarchy. But especially in the last 100 years, there's been tremendous movements towards greater equality. When I think about the world, both you and I, well, you're a little older than me, but we both grew up in the sort of 40s. I was born in the 40s and grew up in, like, say, the 50s. I mean, the gender difference, the, class differences. I mean, so many areas of hierarchy that are dissolving or have dissolved to some extent.
Good, well.
But often I feel there's like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Sometimes
Since
there's a
I'm a
reaction.
hermit, I can't claim to be much good at deciding what's happening in a society based. But I know why I've been asked.
Yeah, I'd just like to end by telling everybody about this event that I'm running on the 26th of September between 7 and 9 at Conway Hall, 25 Red Lion Square near Holborn. And the event is to celebrate the rebirth of equalia. And this is the actual flyer for it, which you can see the double helix, golden double helix, which to me represents the equality of all living beings, because we've all got DNA in us. And it's going to be about bringing this new spiritual path that's in the book to a wider audience. There's going to be talks, there's going to be meditation, there's going to be performance and ceremony, and it's free. And the idea is it's a free event for free spirits from any religion or none who are open to the other dimensions in one way or another, but who are also interested in non-hierarchical type ways of organising and politics. So it's that combination of what might be loosely called the left and spirituality, because up till now, on the whole, people on the left have been very scathing about spirituality, and they've